right, everybody, welcome to the first ever episode of the walkthrough. We're here with the Crumpler and Grant team. My name is Charvez Grant, and this is my team lead, aka the real estate guru, Harold Crumpler. And we just want to talk to you guys today. Want to thank you for tuning in with us. Please remember to like and subscribe. And with that said, we'll go ahead and get this started.
Yep,
All right.
absolutely, absolutely.
All
So now, are we going to be doing the walkthrough, real estate, and real life?
Welcome to this episode of Sold the Podcast.
So we've been going back and forth about the name.
Mhm.
So we decided today on the walkthrough, real estate and real life, because that's what we're going to be talking to you guys about.
Right.
Real estate, buying,
Selling.
selling, and real life. Just everything that goes with it. Whether you're a real estate professional, loan officer, home inspector, first time home buyer, repeat buyer, investor, seller.
Right, because it's real life, not just for us on this side of the table, but real life for you and our past and current clients. What real life is like during these transactions. This is one of the most important financial decisions you can make in your life. And I think it's about time that the industry had a little bit of transparency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Well, wait, let's just introduce ourselves first.
Okay.
So my name is Harold Crumpler. I'm with Caldwell Banker. I've been a realtor for 15 years. I work with, again, first time home buyers, repeat buyers, investors, whether it's fix and hold, fix and flip, and of course, sellers.
Mhm. And my name is Charvez Grant. I've been in real estate what feels like forever, but it's only been about 4 years, and it's been a fun 4 years. I've been able to work with a lot of first-time home buyers, repeat buyers, sellers, and I've learned a lot, gained a lot of experience, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else with my life because just being a realtor has been so fulfilling, and it's full of full circle moments that I can only thank God for.
Yep,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. So I am a real estate agent only in the state of Delaware. That is it. I do cover all three counties. Charvez is licensed in.
I actually started off with my license in Pennsylvania. Funny story. I got my license in Pennsylvania, and as soon as I got my license in Pennsylvania, I bought my first house in Delaware, and, which was fine because it was like a trial run for me. I was working deals in Pennsylvania, coming back home to Delaware where I could leave the chaos or the stresses. I said not chaos, but the stresses at the state lines. And once I really ramped up and got my bearings behind me, I was able to go ahead and get my Delaware license. And I just came up on my anniversary for my first year of being licensed in Delaware. Yeah, that's fun.
Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you.
So, what made you want to become a realtor? What was like the driving passion behind getting the license?
Oh, man, it was so many things. First thing is I've always had a love for houses, and that's because growing up, all we lived in was apartments, from apartment complex to apartment complex. My mother always wanted a house, but she never thought that she could. She thought it was like this big dream, and she could, she needed $1 million to accomplish. Also with that, when I first got introduced to the workforce, it was through sales. And while I enjoy I enjoy being able to write my own paycheck in sales when it comes to commission. Most of the sales jobs that I had would encourage me to do things that would compromise on my integrity. Like I'm grateful for those jobs because they taught me a lot. Sales a lot of times is a form of enhanced communication, so it's helped me in all facets of life. But it was those times where I just felt like, kind of just couldn't really sleep at night because didn't feel like I was always doing right for my customers. They do encourage you to be greedy in some sales fields. If you're a salesman, you probably know this, and they encourage you to, do whatever it takes to get the deal done and let the customer worry about what happens after. I never like that because in every field I've ever been in, I built a great rapport with my customers and clients. I think we do that here, and so just saying like you can, leave problems on them, that never sat well with me. So then I had my son, and I started thinking to myself, what kind of career could I have where I could kind of work on my own time, not have a lot of free time, but work on my own time. That way I could balance working life a little bit more on my own terms. I ended up, one of the things I learned in sales was to ask business owners when I was doing business sales. Ask business owners like, what is it about your job that you like the most, or what made you start your business? I come to start doing that with a lot of landlords, property owners, and they all told me, well, I started as a real estate agent, and they would give me loads and loads of information. And these were some of the most genuine, transparent people in any profession. They were always in a good mood, right? For some reason, um, they were always in a really good mood. And so this was during the pandemic. I decided to go ahead and try to get my license. And here's the kicker. Here was the kicker for me when I started taking my classes or to learn how to be a real estate agent. I learned I learned a lot about real estate, but what I learned was so much about just being honest, being transparent, and how not being honest. I break it down. I simplify it. Not being honest at your job can cost you your license. So I'm thinking to myself, well, here's a field. It's still in sales, but it's a field where I'm encouraged to be honest, to disclose, to put my clients' needs first before my own, things of that nature. And that just seemed like it was right up my alley. It seemed like it was my calling. So that's what pushed me to go ahead and get my license. And all these things just kind of came into fruition.
Okay.
It's been a good time ever since.
Okay. All right. So is there anything that you would change?
Like you have to be coachable in this business. Nobody, even the people that know everything, still need to come to sales meetings and still need to brush up on things. That's why we have continuing education
Correct.
every like 2 years because you have to learn. There's so much to learn. You never know, even if you know it all, you never know it all. So
Right.
that was probably the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? You want to
Oh
get back
yeah,
into
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
because
So this is the first episode where
mm,
we're not going to do heavy editing. So there will be some slight pauses, um, a lot of
dead air. Just be with us. We're still alive here. We just we just
by
working it out.
episode three, I think we'll be better. I definitely
Absolutely.
feel like we're going to
Oh,
be
we
better by
pros by
episode
then.
three.
Yeah, yeah.
But just kind of stay with us and work with us with this first episode.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Please do.
Okay, so yeah, you can ask me some questions.
All right. So this is. I kind of want to piggyback up the same question you asked me. Like, just walk
Okay.
me through the beginning. What originally inspired you to step into real estate, and how has the industry shaped you both professionally and personally?
Okay, so it's a two-part question.
Yeah.
All right, so for me with real estate, I bought my first house kind of young, like 23, 24, and old school, the back of the newspaper, classified section, and I had only been at my new job like 6 months.
Mm.
Um, I had a new child.
Mm.
He was 5 to 6 months old, and the people that lived at that home, the wife was a nurse, and a job came up for her in Florida, so they wanted to sell quick. So they allowed me to do what's called a rent to own. I don't know if they still do those. They don't do them those that much anymore.
No.
Um, but you would basically rent for a certain amount of time. It was for a year, and then part of the rent, in my case, the rent was like $1,000, and we're going back in the crease. $1,000, $200 of that went towards the down payment. So basically, they would take that 200, kind of sit that in the stash, and then when it was time for me to close, that 200 every month. I think it had ended up being because I ended up buying the house after 6 months.
Okay.
Because back then you had to be at your job for a full year before you can qualify for a mortgage. And if you moved another job, it had to be within the same field. That has since, of course, changed. But I did end up purchasing the home, and it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. And I had a tax business. So a lot of my tax clients, like after they would get their taxes done, it would be like, hey, you know anybody that could help me with my credit? Okay, I would help them write dispute letters. Then it would be like, oh, you have a house? Well, what'd you have to do? Oh, on your day off, can you help me? Find a house. Let's go and look at houses. And Like how you say, you loved houses. I loved houses.
Mm-hmm.
Even just going into new construction and seeing what they had,
Mm-hmm.
getting some decor ideas, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I would take my clients, my tax clients, then out to look at houses. Back then, I didn't even know realtors got paid like that. That was a thing.
Right.
I just thought, you looked in the, classifieds. Of course, I knew about the new construction,
Mm-hmm.
but that was really it. So I had one particular client. She ended up getting new construction. So I go with her to the sales office, and I'm sitting down with her like I was an attorney, sitting down with her. I'm reading over the contract, and okay, yeah, okay, yeah, sign it. So the sales guy, I know what builder it was, but we don't rep that builder because they. So I don't want to give
Yeah.
them a shout out.
Okay.
But
He shall not be named.
yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
the sales guy kept saying like, "What brokerage are you with?" As he's writing everything out, and I was like, "Huh, brokerage?" He's like, "Yeah, your
Mm-hmm.
broker." I didn't know what that meant, and I was just like, "That's your client, right?" I'm like, "Right, right." Well, are you a realtor? And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not a real estate agent."
Wow.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, you said client." I said, "Oh, she's my tax client.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just helping, read through the documents or whatever." He's like, "Oh, so we all got a little kiki out of it." And he's doing the paperwork. And then as we, she signs everything, she's under contract. So then as we're walking out, he kind of pulls me to the side and he's like, you may want to think about getting a real estate license because everything you just did is that's what pretty much the realtors do.
Mm.
And he threw a number out, like you would have made XYZ. I'm like,
Excuse
you
me.
shitting me? Like I was like, what? Are we gonna cuss on our channel?
Oh,
If
we
it
already
slips,
did.
if it
We already
slips,
did.
if
Hey,
it
man.
slips out,
Hey, this is real life.
we're good Christian people.
That's right.
So I thought about like, wow, maybe I should get my real estate license. And time went on. I mean, I'm talking years,
Mm-hmm.
like 3, 4 years passed, and I ended up, and just circle back to that. I had it seemed like every time I would sign up for the real estate class,
Mm-hmm.
my job would have more overtime.
Mm.
You trying to make a move and
Yeah,
something
something
keeps,
keeping you away.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it always felt like I needed to work to make the money from overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But then something kept saying no, like you can, you know, um, make money in real estate to not have to worry about the overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I mean? Like you kind of holding
Absolutely.
on to your income from your
Trading.
W-2 job.
Yeah. Trading your time for money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was doing. And then something just clicked and was like my kids were getting older
Mm-hmm.
and working 16-hour shifts in steel toe boots. It was like something has to give.
Right.
So that's when I buckled down and took the real estate class and the test. But I love. It's I don't think there's anything in real estate that I love more than and I'm not being like sexist, but I love when the single moms
Mm.
buy a house.
Listen, if you
It's
sexist, I'm sexist too. Because it's for me. Go ahead. I don't want to cut
oh
you
no
off.
no I was just saying like that was another piece of it. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
already doing this, helping my tax clients, which most of them were single moms,
Mm-hmm.
buy homes, and I didn't even know real estate was a thing. Like
You was
realtors
doing the
got
job
paid,
without knowing it
right?
was
I
the
was
job.
already doing it
You was taking
because I loved the results. It was like, oh my
right.
gosh,
I
like
got a
I'm
house.
and I mentor, like I'm a mentor to all these people. But
Still
yeah,
mentoring
so
them. Keep saying all
I I use
this. Mm-hmm.
the same thing now. Like I do the same thing now.
Mm.
I do prefer to work with first time home
Home buyers.
buyers.
Okay.
That's that's my passion
Yeah.
with this
I
is the
would.
first time buyers.
I would say the same thing. Funny thing is, it's like when you're working with people, I find that like because people don't sell houses for a living or buy houses for a living, it seems like they always going through the transaction for the first time, even if they bought or sold before. Some of
Right,
our clients,
right, because things
but
change.
yeah, things change. You know,
Hmm.
if the last time you bought a house was 20 years ago, you had no idea probably how things work in this day and age. But
Hmm.
uh, to piggyback on what you said about helping single moms, I mean, it's like a circle moment. Like I told you, like my mom never thought she can buy a house. She thought it was
Mhm.
this impossible dream, and
Mhm.
it seemed like every. That's one of the other fulfilling things that really drives me and really gets my passion going when it comes to real estate is because I meet so many single moms who are in that same boat. How is this going to happen? Can I do
Mhm.
this? Can I get this done? How am I going to get this done? Is this for real?
Mhm.
And yes, it's so real, and it's lovely to see them, cross that finish line. And I love helping my families too. I love helping everybody, but yeah, it is a difference when you get to help
Right.
somebody who feels like they have none, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as shaping me, I feel like real estate has um, my patience has grown
Mm,
with being a realtor.
mm,
However, if
mm-hmm,
it's something that is not a good fit, because every realtor, every client is not going to mesh.
mm-hmm,
You know, that is your team for the next, 4 to 6 weeks, however long it takes to get through your home purchase.
mm-hmm.
Y'all like family. Like that's your new best friend.
Ride or die.
It's your new best friend
Yeah.
for the next, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks. I feel like
Mm-hmm,
you have to mesh. I
mm-hmm,
don't want anybody to be like, oh, I don't like my realtor. And I don't want to go home like, oh my gosh, this client calling me again. Oh my goodness.
mm-hmm,
I'd rather refer you to somebody else
mm-hmm.
so that y'all can kind of, because it's supposed to be a great experience for you.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, you're not going to agree with everything your realtor says. You may want to go left. Your realtor's like, no, no, no. We gotta keep going right.
Mm-hmm.
um, but yes, I think my patience growing, and it teaches you how to be very open minded because you meet a lot of different people. You
Mm-hmm.
you end up working with a lot of different people, different backgrounds, different religion. Just different things.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
I feel like real estate definitely teaches you a lot,
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
It definitely does, especially that thing you said about patience. That was one I had to learn that as well. I mean, even when I got my license, that was a given period. I had to wait 3 months before everything was approved. So, and then in these transactions, patience is key. Now, so and you kind of just elaborated on my next question was like looking back where you started. How would you describe the growth you experienced? But you kind of just elaborated on that, being open minded, dealing with people from different backgrounds. Um, uh, yeah, is there anything else you want to say about that
Um,
or?
I feel like, and there's another but I feel like, and I mean I do it anyway. But as a realtor, you're more than, and I see, I see it on social media, like, oh, all realtors do is unlock the doors, and
Yeah.
if you're a good realtor, you are definitely doing more than unlocking the doors.
Mhm.
You're a mentor,
Mm.
you're a coach,
Mm.
just everything.
Mhm.
And your faith has to be strong
Mm.
because you have to be able to tell your client a delay is not a denial.
Right.
You have to help your client stay focused too,
Yes.
because it can be a very frustrating process.
Mhm.
um and I don't know if you do this, but I do this. Like, I'm very close to the vest. I don't tell people anything they don't need to know, especially when I'm in the middle of doing some type of a transaction.
Yep.
And I usually tell my clients that, like, don't say anything to anybody about you buying a house unless they're in the need to know, the
Unless they're in
immediate
the need to know.
family. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you will have people that will try to talk you out of it or discourage you.
Right.
Um,
Put bad juju on your deal. Say a bad juju on your house after you buy it, right? It's just there's a lot of that goes around.
negative energy,
Negative energy.
negative
That's what we'll call
energy.
it. Negative
Yeah,
energy.
well, negative
And,
energy.
and it's really not a. This is really not a industry for negative energy. Everything has got to be about how do we move forward. We can move forward. We can get this done. We will get this done. Because the second you start doubting yourself, you start feeding into that doubt. Just like with anything else, you already given up, or you're slowly starting to give up, and you can't give up because what's at the end of the road here is way more rewarding than what for my first time home buyers going back and getting another rental. I'm trying to tell you, it's way having a house is way more rewarding. And like you said, I do keep things close to the chest. And not just, and sometimes I won't even tell my clients certain things unless they absolutely need to know. If it's something that we can take care of, because I don't want to stress my client out, right? There's so many different moving parts to a real estate deal that, that's our job, right? Like you don't necessarily want to know how the burgers get made, but you want to have it when you come through the fast food line, right?
Absolutely.
And
And you
so
want it hot.
yeah, you want it hot. You want it hot and ready, and that's my job is to make sure it's hot and ready for you, not to come back to you and say, hey, we ran out of ketchup, or it's gonna be, you know what I mean? If it's a 5 minute wait, I'm just gonna try to talk you through that 5 minute wait until
Hmm.
at the end of it, you be like, oh, time flew, and I got my burger, or you got your house. So
Right, right.
yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. So so we're going back and forth.
So let me ask you this: since we're
Okay,
talking about buyers, with those sellers in the mix too, give me one. I'm gonna say pet peeve that you have with buyers and sellers, and then um, one thing I guess that you're grateful for with buyers and sellers, or thing that kind of has you happy with buyers and sellers. So one of each.
okay, all right. So with buyers and sellers is the same thing, and but this is probably more so on me. It's just a pet peeve because I have to be able to deliver these messages better. But it's just not trusting our recommendations. I hate it
Okay.
because not trusting our recommendations a lot of times. And I used to do this early on. I used to be like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna argue with them. I'm gonna treat them like a kid. And you know how sometimes you gotta let a kid fall so that they know not to
Mhm.
walk on
Mhm.
something. I used to do that, but then after a while, just the letdown of seeing my clients run into um, say mistakes or problems or issues that could have been preventable. I just got tired of that. So that's my pet peeve, just not trusting our recommendations. We have an expertise built off experience. And it's not to say that we're always right, but if I'm trying to tell you something and you don't listen and then things don't go the way you want them to, I still take the blame. I don't mind taking the blame, but
You gonna get
yeah, I'm
blamed
gonna get
anyway.
blamed anyway. But we know, you and I know what happened. But the most rewarding thing is, I mean, for my buyers is, I mean, for buyers and sellers both, it's just that new chapter. Like the buyers just get it started. I mean, you hear so many. Here's the thing: every house comes with a story, right? I'm sure you know that. Like
Mhm.
we can literally write a book on every deal, and not just the deal, but just like when I'm talking to my clients, as they get more and more comfortable, they tell me the back. They don't just tell me why they want to buy. They tell me the lineage behind the decision of why they want to buy. Trying to break generational curses, their childhood, growing up, all these things, and it's all coming into coming to a head with this purchase of this house. This is like accomplishing that milestone, the answer to all of those things. And for sellers, it's kind of like the same thing. They're starting a new chapter, but down they're starting a new chapter with a full bank account. They just sold their house. They get this wire transaction,
Yeah.
and they off to the races, right? Off to the sunset. And that's the most rewarding thing for me is helping people accomplish these dreams that they or these goals that they've set out to. Because everybody's got a purpose for why they're doing it.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's my most rewarding thing. What about you?
Mm. So I do have pet peeve,
Mm-hmm.
a pet peeve. So with buyers, and I feel like they just need to disclose more.
Mm-hmm.
You have a whole team.
Mm-hmm.
You have, hopefully us as
Mm-hmm.
the realtor. You
Mm-hmm.
have the loan officer, the
Mm-hmm.
home inspector. In
Mm-hmm.
Delaware, we use closing attorneys as opposed to like PA. I know
Yeah, we
you do
use
title
title companies.
companies,
Right.
um, but you have a whole team. So when you get to the closing table, there should be no question unanswered between all of us.
Right.
If it's something that myself or Chavez doesn't know offhand, we get the answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we need honesty. So,
Yes. That's a
so,
crucial
so
thing.
if I say, okay, well, how much do you have, saved? Don't tell me 10 and you really got five,
Right.
or don't go buy a car, or if you know your job is about to have a layoff. Like the more we know, the more we can help circumvent,
Right.
you know, to make sure things get done.
So we can
don't
meet that
not don't
deadline.
not tell us. You know
Right.
what I mean? Um, so I think a lot of people get, I don't want to say afraid, but think like, oh, I don't have enough money saved, or oh, my score is 650, and a lot of that comes from not an old school mindset, but how it maybe used to be. Like, and then some people still get
Misinformation.
misinformation,
Yeah.
where some, well, my uncle said I'm gonna need 20% down. Like, because when he bought his house, Well, either he bought his house and he wanted to put 20% down, or he bought his house in the 1940s. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody really, I don't want to say nobody, because people don't like the private mortgage insurance. So some people will still put 20% down, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay to call us like, hey, Harold Biz, listen, I got $500 right now.
Yep.
But I'm trying to be in the house before Christmas. What kind of options do I have? And we're gonna run down. Okay, we can get you this program. If we go to the outskirts of Wilmington, we might be able to use the Newcastle County program and DISHA. Or if you okay with being in the city, we can use the City of Wilmington program, and that piggybacks with DISHA. And we can try to get sellers assist. Like we can, ourselves and the loan officer, we can kind of help see if we can make that happen.
Yes.
And to use the DISHA program, your score only needs to be your mid score, your mid FICO, not that Vantage 3 score that's on Credit Karma.
Right.
The mid is the FICO 245 score. It needs to be at a 620. You can go FHA with less than a 620, but you will need more money down. But
And could you elaborate the DISHA program?
That's Delaware State Housing Authority. Yes. And that absolutely has nothing to absolutely do with the question you asked me. It just
it was all in line.
But that's one of the pet peeves, just not being honest with us, because we're here to help, and we can't help if we don't know the whole story.
True.
And then the kind of like the gratification part is seeing the keys, like seeing you get your keys in your hand, going to closing. And I had a couple clients. Actually, I think 3 of my clients throughout the years, they didn't tell anybody, like not even their kids. And closing day, they took the kids to the house, and like the one young lady, the kids' furniture and stuff was already in the rooms. And they was like, "Wait a minute, why is our stuff here?" And then they were jumping up and down and stuff like that. Like you can't make that up. Like, you know what I mean?
You get to be a part of that, right? Like
absolutely, absolutely. That's and then the pet peeves are
more.
for sellers. For sellers, the pet peeves are I always say everybody's house is all that to them. Everybody's. Green paint on the wall, or it's all that to you. But when we're putting the house on the market, and I say, hey, listen, we can get some painters in here to make it more neutral, or we're going to have to reduce the price a little bit. Trust me when I say there are only 2 options. Multicolor paint on the walls, we are not going to be able to get the full amount for the house, for the asking price.
Right.
So like you said, just kind of taking our recommendations. That is a big pet peeve. On the sell side. On the sell side. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really
No, I hear you. And then on the thing about being honest with us, I just wanted to say, like, like you said, we are a team, right? You got to look at us as your teammates, right? I know sometimes we don't even want to disclose things. We might be a little embarrassed. There's no room for shame in this, right? No room for shame in this game.
Yeah.
It's rare. Like you said, it's rare that people put 20% down. I know real estate seems like to some people from the outside looking in, it seems like a rich man's industry where you got to have all this money in the bank, you got to have an 800 credit score, and I'm trying to tell you, it is not as hard as it was. It's not as easy as it once was, but it's not as hard as you think. You just have to talk to the experts and figure out, like us, and we'll find a solution for you. But we need that transparency. Nothing gets done if we're not being honest with you.
Right. And I know with interest rates are high right now. Get the house.
Get the house.
You can always refinance later. Now, when you can refinance, we don't know. It could be 2 months from now, it could be 2 years from now. Like when I had my first house built, that was in 2004, and the rate, I had a 3-1 arm.
Okay.
And that was to get a 7%. That was good back then. I know people that had 10% rates. I mean, yes, the houses were, a lot. I was gonna say a little bit cheaper. They were a lot, less back then, but still, that was, 350, 330 at a 7% rate back in '04.
Right.
And then by 2008, FHA kind of, I don't want to say flatlined out at the 4.25, but most of the rates for FHA were around that 4.25. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was some years. It was definitely years down the line. But get the house,
Get the house.
get the house, because once the rates drop, it's going to be a frenzy. The houses are going to be overpriced. Yep. You're going to get outbidded. We're never going to get sellers assist.
No.
Definitely not. And
not when the rates drop.
Right, not when the rates drop. And then it's one of those things where rent never goes down.
No.
So you're going to keep renting, and not going to have any money.
And I just want to, in front of my renters, I just want to paint this picture for you, right? There's a house that was just purchased is for 470, right? 10 years ago, that house sold for 260. So in 10 years, that house went up 200 grand in price, right? Now, if you stay with a landlord for 10 years, your rent is gonna go up, but when you move out of that place, you're not walking away with anything. You just got to go pay another security deposit. When those sellers sold that house, they made 200 grand off the sale of that house, right? So just think of it that way. You buy that house no matter what else is going on, because you can buy a house right now and pay the same amount you're going to pay in rent. But you think about what I'm talking about is equity, right? You're paying your mortgage, you're paying the same price, and when you go to sell that house, right? Say it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to make a profit that you can use. That's that bank account, that full bank account I was talking about with my sellers. They can start a new chapter with a full bank account based off the sale of their home. You're not doing that with an apartment. So just think about that when somebody's telling you not to buy the house. A house is always an investment. Absolutely. Right? It's always an investment. And it's also want to encourage you to think about it like this. Real estate is one of the easiest ways to control where your money goes after you spend it. You're paying for the house, you're paying taxes. And those taxes go to your community, go to developing your community. Now you have a say what goes on in your community because you're a homeowner. You're not just a renter with a landlord that doesn't live there. You are actually taking part in deciding what goes in. You can take part. Not everybody does, but you should, especially if you're paying your money there, on what comes in and goes out of your neighborhood. And this is a way to own your neighborhood. So think about it like that, and I'm off my diatribe.
Yeah, and just remember though, with the equity, it may not build as fast. Like everything that kind of with COVID and I don't think we can say COVID on YouTube. I don't think you can. So pandemic, during the pandemic, with the houses being overpriced, equity rose dramatically. Right. You may not get that kind of growth now, but you still, like you said, it's still money in the bank.
It's still money in the
bank. It's still money in the bank. And just kind of think about piggybacking off the 10-year thing. Just say you pay $2,000 a month in rent, and you're there, 12 months. That's what, $24,000 for 10 years. That's $240,000 down the drain.
Down the drain.
It didn't go on anything.
Right.
It didn't pay down anything. And you're not leaving your kids anything. Right. You know what I mean? It went to nothing. And 10 years goes like that. So fast. That apartment that you got, like, oh, I'm gonna just stay here for a year or two, then I'm gonna leave and buy a house. Next thing you know, it's 5 years. And then before you know it, and then in that 5 years, your credit probably done got messed up. Something else done happened. Your DTI is super high because now you done co-sign somebody else's car, and you got your car, so now you can't afford it. So many things can happen in that time frame. That's why like they say, it's no time like today.
No time like today, and it's never a bad time to buy a house. It's never a bad time to invest in yourself.
Right, you're definitely investing in yourself and your family, especially if you have children.
Yes,
you definitely invest in.
Yeah, and that's where we talk about the motivations to sell or motivations to buy. So buy that house. Don't let anybody discourage you. Let me ask you this, because and this is a chance for you to show off because I kind of know this, but there are over 4,000 licensed real estate agents in the state of Delaware right now.
Mm-hmm.
What specific value or experience do you provide that truly sets you apart from the rest?
Uh, Besides being full service,
Mm-hmm.
meaning if you come to me with a 500 credit score and again, 500 in your account,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking with you. We're working together to get you ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those realtors to be like, oh, here's the number to the loan officer. Call me back when you get your pre-approval. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. Now don't get me wrong. I'm gonna give you the number to the loan officer so that we can see where you're at. But if you're not ready, that's fine. I'll walk you through and stay with you the entire time until we get those keys. I've had buyers that were fresh in bankruptcy, like Chapter 7,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to wait for it to discharge, and it was going to be a whole year where I've stayed in contact with them
The entire
the
time.
entire year. Sending them houses,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of keep them motivated. And if it's a day where I don't have anything to do, well, let's go out and go look at some new construction, or let's go look at a couple houses. Like if I've been working with them and I know them,
Mm-hmm.
like don't get me wrong. If someone calls me out of the blue on from social media, or like here I want to see this house. Okay, wait a minute. I need to see pre-approval. I'm just
Right.
not gonna
You're gonna
go in
vet
no
you, yeah.
dark alley with just
Mm-hmm.
anybody. But if it's somebody that we've been in contact and you know what I mean, we've worked together, then no problem. Let's keep you motivated, keep the motivation up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like we educate.
Yes.
You know, even if you have 100,000 in your 401k, if you qualify, I want to see you get every program you're entitled to get.
Yeah.
Seller's assist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I talked to one of the loan officers about this. He'll be like, "Oh, Harlan, they're good to go. They got enough money in 401k. We don't care. We're gonna ask the seller for some seller's assist.
Right.
Whether they want to keep their money for furniture or whatever else, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
just to have an extra stash in case things get a little shaky. They
Mm-hmm.
want to have some money sitting, you know. And we definitely educate about all the programs, everything that you're entitled to,
Yeah.
and even credit stuff. I back in the day, they would tell you don't pay off collections because they would just put zero. They'll just put pay for less than owed, and then maybe mark it with zero. Now collection companies, when you pay it or settle it, they delete it. They delete that trade line.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much most of them do it. It's on their like their web page, middling collection, LVMV, which is I think resurgent now. They have it on their main page, their website.
Mm-hmm.
That once the account is settled, or I'm sorry, satisfied, paid or satisfied, that they delete the trade line. You can gain anywhere from 18 to 25 points
Just from that, just from the
just
credit
from
connection.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. Just being able to advise a client on what to do. Sometimes your loan officers will, sometimes they won't. But luckily, we have a team where people do that, and I've seen people jump their scores over 80 points in less than a month. So just from that knowledge, we also want to help you keep your money in your pocket,
Right, yeah.
because we put ourselves in your shoes, and if I know everybody likes a good deal. Everybody likes walking away feeling like I kept more than I gave out, and I still got what I wanted. And so that's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So come work with us, and you'll have all of those benefits. Um, okay, so if you could improve one thing about the real estate industry, what would it be and why?
So, fees.
Mm,
Uh, I do think that closing costs are really high.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I know money costs money.
mm-hmm,
Money costs money. You got to pay origination fees. I think that's how the lenders get paid.
right,
You have title insurance, um, the owner's title insurance policy, the lender's title insurance policy. You have real attorneys' closing costs,
mm-hmm.
deed prep fees, credit report fees, messenger fees. Um,
It's a big sheet. It's a big
you
legal
know,
sheet.
a list of things that are paid in advance that go into escrow for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have per diem, like, so say if you close on the 15th and you got 15 or 16 days of per diem interest. Now, what Delaware does do, they do offer transfer tax discount for true first-time home buyers, meaning you've never had a house in your name, like your mom didn't add you to the title of her house or with the deed. You are a true first-time home buyer. You will get a transfer tax discount. Outside of that, well, the transfer tax in itself used to be only 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, it used to be lower than that before then, but then it went to 3%, which was fine. Then during the pandemic, they put it up to 4, basically like, okay, let's get through this hump. But I guess they didn't know how things were going to shake out,
Right.
so they increased the transfer tax to 4%, but then they never put it back down
Mm.
because that was supposed to be temporary.
Right. Well,
So
just
you kind of think about a $400,000 house. That's an extra 1%. That's extra $4,000 extra they get.
right. That you got to come out of pocket when you go to
Right,
close.
right. And
Mm-hmm.
Delaware has the highest transfer tax, I believe, in the nation. Well, in the U.S. I don't know where, but I, I, I would, I would want our closing costs just to be a little bit less.
Yeah, I think a lot of clients, just people could benefit from lower closing costs. I mean, we're always trying to wrap the closing costs into either seller's assist or
Mm-hmm.
grants, and at the end of the day, it comes out to a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper, and so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that could really help the industry a lot, and just help everyday people just get over that hump of buying a house.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just think that they're just too high because not everybody can have them wrapped in,
Yeah.
because there are some homes that hit the market that are very nice and they do go fast.
Mm-hmm.
So on those homes, we already know 9 times out of 10, we're
You're
not
not
going to
getting
get seller's
seller's
assist.
assist.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, but if the client really wants the house, we already know
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, if you had the money, don't even ask. If you really want that particular house and it's new to the market. Now, if the house has been sitting for 2 weeks, the chances get better. The longer the house is on the market, the better our chances get to actually get that seller's assist. So at least that's what I found.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is something that you feel as though, as a real estate agent, or just in life and just in general, that you feel like you need to get better with?
Let's. How much time you got? I know for me, it's about communicating in a way that builds trust sooner, right? Because I think it goes back to getting clients to trust my recommendations. I think it's just the thing about how much do they trust what I'm saying, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that falls on me. Like I just have to be able to communicate things that are necessary a lot better, even when it's not the most favorable news. Um, and so if I can do that, if I can build that trust with my clients, all my clients do trust me. So
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be able to build trust sooner and communicate that so my clients do trust my recommendations
Mm-hmm.
a lot sooner. So we
Yeah.
don't lose out on deals or have a house sitting on or property sitting on the market longer than it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand that because I think it's hard because real estate and some realtors it's just a bad name with it. It's almost like how you have car salesmen, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Or you go in a certain furniture store, as soon as you hit the door,
Oh
it's like
man.
vultures.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like, and this is one of the things I feel like where we're different, than the other 4,000 realtors. Like, we want to see you win.
Yes.
We want to see you win.
Yes.
It's not about the paycheck. Like
Mm-hmm.
the paycheck is great
Mm-hmm.
when it comes through,
When it comes through.
but we might work with somebody for 6 months, 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently circled back to a client. It's been over a year since I showed him some houses last,
Right.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were like in communication. I was sending houses and everything probably 6 months before we actually went out
On the
with him and
first
his wife,
showing.
right, and went
Yeah.
out for showing. So now when we reached out, it's going on almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I mean, we use gas, time, and we didn't get paid. but we want to see them get the house that they want, that
Yes.
they've been searching for.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not pushy realtors. I know I'm not at all.
Nah, I can't
Like, yeah, I'll call you, I'll text you. If you give me any sign that I want to hold off for right now, I'll just fall back and wait for your cue.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that should give some people an inkling to like how we move.
Yeah.
Like we don't press you. We don't, because it has to be a good experience.
Yes.
Now don't get that confused with once we're under contract. Like I had somebody under contract, and this was during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if something else came available or she just didn't want to be in that area, that area that she was under contract in. And she did a large deposit, like a big deposit. I think it was like 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, "I want to get out of the contract." I I can't. We can't. We already passed all our contingencies.
Mm-hmm.
It's finance, everything. Everything was ready to go. And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna quit my job." I said, "You can't. I mean, if you quit your job, you're still gonna lose the deposit because the thing with the finance and contingency, if you do anything purposefully
To mess up.
to not be able to qualify,
Mm-hmm.
it's you're gonna lose your deposit."
And if I could elaborate on the financing contingency, and just back me up if I say anything wrong, the financing contingency basically says you are going to follow all the steps necessary to get approved for your loan on the house. And basically, if for any reason you are not able to get approved for funding, not because you did something to mess it up, but maybe your score or your income just didn't match, there was no lender that wanted to actually give you the funds,
Or your
then
job lays
or
you
your
off.
job lays you off, some type of life change, or something out of your control,
Right,
then you're
control.
entitled to get your deposit back. However, if something else goes on, you quit your job or you go buy a car the day before closing or something like that,
that happened too.
yes, you're gonna lose out on your deposit. So the financing contingency, like we really signed that for, or I really signed that for the protection of my buyers. I think you do as well. It's just
Absolutely,
to protect your
absolutely.
deposit because I don't want you to lose out on your deposit and lose out on the house. So we put that there to protect you. But if you use that and try to, beat the system, you can't play victim. You're gonna lose out on that money. So just, be just that's just some education on what a financing contingency is. And once you're in contract, it's like we got to get to the finish line. We're getting to that finish line.
Or you have to be okay with losing the deposit. Like in the case with that one buyer, you know, that was the part I didn't like. She quickly turned it, which she was a realtor's fault. No matter what, quickly turned it on me like, "Oh, you can get me out the contract if you wanted to. Is you just trying to get a check?" Like that's a hard insult. Because if I could have gotten her out of that contract, I would have. But Miss Ma'am, you got $15,000 on the line,
right?
And it's nothing I can do to get you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she ended up buying a house, and she didn't want to buy the house. I mean, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't get you out the contract without you losing this $15,000. And she didn't want to lose the 15,000. I'm like, well, just rent the house out when you go to closing. And there's only one other time I didn't, like literally out of the 15 years I've been a realtor, where I didn't mark off for finance contingency was I had a buyer that was going to do financing, but then she said, well, if I can't get the financing, I'll do cash. I'm like, okay, so then it'll be a cash deal. She's like, yeah. So I want this house. Cool. So that one I didn't do financing contingency on. Okay. Because she said if she don't get the financing, she'll do cash. Okay. So we offered less than what they were, marketing the house for. Mm-hmm. So I felt like, okay, that's a stronger offer. Yeah. So
that was that one time. But it's very important that once you're under contract, you just follow through. Because other than that, I don't know what we can do for you.
Yeah. Or again, we're patient. We're not pushy. You don't have to buy.
Right.
If you're not ready and you want more time, fine. But when you walk into a house, you usually know. You're like, this is it. This is
Yeah,
the one.
yeah, you
You know what I
usually know.
mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay. So all our cameras besides one have died.
Besides the phone,
Yeah.
right?
Besides the
So you
phone.
shut the phone.
So
I think we want to wrap this.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Well.
Any other I mean, well, so what we're going to be doing, we're
Hmm.
going to have, home inspectors on so that they can tell you the ins and outs and per the title, walk you through the home inspection process and
Yes.
what goes on there. Um, Same thing with the
And
loan officer. All the programs, and Delaware has great programs. And it's not like what you think back in the day, like you had to sit through an 8 hour class. You have with Delaware State Housing, we have like the Welcome Home. We have Delaware Diamond in the Rough, which is my absolute favorite. You can get up to 5% towards the down payment. And it's almost like a 203K loan, the FHA 203K loan, because you get the funds to do the renovations, but it could be something as simple as new appliances. It doesn't have to be an all-out demo reno. That is a great program. Now, when we talk about DSHA, Delaware State Housing Authority, and money from them, that money does get paid back at the back of the loan. There's nothing due while the loan is in play. But now, if you go to refinance or you sell the property, so say you get $10,000 from DSHA, and that covers your down payment. When you go to sell the house or refinance, that 10,000 gets paid back at that time. Or if you actually have the house for 30 years and make 30 years of payments, then the DSHA 10,000 comes into play, or whatever the amount is that you get. Because you can get 3% or 4%, or you could do DSHA unassist because DSHA has its own interest rate. So we're gonna have loan officers on and breaking that down more as well.
We'll also have some testimonies from past clients that want to
Hmm.
come on the show and talk about their own experience, walk us through
Good,
how
bad,
they
or
went.
indifferent.
Good, bad, or indifferent, right?
I
Right.
mean, we could use some constructive criticism and just
Absolutely.
to get, that myth as well, where people think that once the realtors get the check and the lenders get the check,
I
they
don't see
never
them no
see.
more.
Right, right, right. Everybody got paid from the deal, and I don't
Hmm.
hear from them anymore. It's not about that. We definitely talk to clients beyond the closing. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have a lot to bring.
A lot to bring, a lot to offer. And we just want to give you guys, an inside scoop on what real estate really is. You've seen the reality shows, you've seen the social media posts, hear from some real people with real experiences.
Yeah, yeah.
And be sure to like and subscribe.
But yeah, so like, comment, definitely comment um, what information that you guys would love to hear more about. Now, remember, we really only talk about Delaware and Pennsylvania. That's kind of where we're
That's what we're based out
licensed,
of.
right? Licensed and knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything else that we say and it doesn't match what's going on in Maryland or California, please don't put that in the comments.
Can't help you
We
there.
can't. Yeah, we can't help
Maybe
it.
we'll have some California or Maryland realtors on the podcast sometime
Right,
one day.
right. But
We
as
don't
of
do
right
that
now,
here.
we can't answer any of those questions.
Right.
And you know, um, but yeah, definitely, please like, share, subscribe, and yeah, we'll be back with more.
We'll see you soon. All right.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.